A new week with new bonuses and discounts just arrived in GTA Online, also bringing some new things related to the 4th of July. In this video, I'm going to show you some things you should take advantage of from the discounts and buy this week. This update runs from July 3rd all the way to July 10th. If you enjoy, leave a like, consider subscribing, and let's get right into it. This week we've got crazy amount of discounted properties and they are all really good. Let's start with the best one. Nightclubs are 30% off this week. There are 10 different nightclub locations, and usually the best ones are the ones more to the north, like West Vinewood and downtown Vinewood. But honestly, location isn't that big of a deal. Personally, I have mine in La Mesa because most of my other businesses are in that area, so I can access everything more easily. If you prefer another location, that's totally fine, it won't make a huge difference. Just try to avoid the ones down south, like LSIA, Elysian Island, and Cypress Flats. Those are really bad spots in terms of access, sell missions, and getting around in general. Unfortunately, the nightclub renovations aren't discounted this week, but you can still make a good amount of passive income from the safe, whether you're a new or experienced player. If you're new to the game and don't have much money yet, I recommend not spending millions on storage floors right away. To actually make millions with the warehouse, you need to spend a huge amount of money on other external things that I'll explain what are and how they work in just a moment. The nightclub has two main parts. The nightclub itself, the legal part, and the warehouse underneath, the illegal part. Starting with the legal side, the main thing here is to keep your nightclub popularity high to make money through the safe. You can do this by kicking out troublemakers, escorting VIPs to their homes or the hospital, doing promotion missions, or switching DJs, which is the laziest method and the one I personally use. It costs a bit of money, but you don't have to keep doing those missions. If your popularity is maxed out, you can make up to $50,000 per in-game day, which is 48 minutes in real time, which is awesome. Just keep that popularity up. This is the simplest way, and honestly, it's the most profitable part of the nightclub in the long run. Now for the warehouse side, here's how it works. You can hire up to 5 technicians, you'll have to pay for them, and assign them to 7 different businesses outside the nightclub. The cargo and shipments is linked to the hangar or special cargo warehouses, sporting goods linked to the bunker, South American imports, white lockup, pharmaceutical research, blue lab, organic produce linked to the green farm, printing and copying linked to the document forgery office, and the cash creation is linked to the counterfeit cash factory. Interestingly, 2 of these businesses are actually discounted this week, but I'll get to that in just a second. You should completely ignore the organic produce and printing and copying because they make the least money. That's why nightclubs are expensive to set up and not really recommended for low-level players. When it's time to sell, always sell when the South American imports, pharmaceutical research, and cash creation bars are full because these fill up much faster than the other 2. To make everything more efficient, you can also invest in equipment and staff upgrades, which will boost both your safe income and warehouse production, but sadly these upgrades aren't on discount either. One of the best things about the nightclub sell missions is that they're perfect for solo players. They are always done with a single vehicle. You will need to buy those delivery vehicles, but they're not crazy expensive. Overall, it's a very good business, simply the king of passive income. Continuing our list, we also have bunkers with 30% off. There are 11 options available on the Maze Bank Foreclosures website, and the best ones are basically the ones closest to the city. This is because in the bunker you have 2 options, selling to Blaine County or to Los Santos, which pays more. So the closer you are to the city, the better. The Chumash bunker and the farmhouse bunker are the best options. The farmhouse is a bit more expensive, so maybe the Chumash one is the better choice. There's also one at the top of the map, which is the Palito Forest bunker, and this one is free for some players like me, however it's the worst location at all. If the sell missions are already annoying and hard to do solo, with that location it gets even worse. Again, none of the renovations are discounted this week, but if you still want to buy them, the only one that's really worth it is the personal quarters, so you can have easier access. The others are pretty useless to be honest. The bunker works in a very simple way. You either buy or steal supplies, and those supplies will slowly turn into stock, which you can later sell for a profit. My recommendation is to always buy supplies. This is because stealing supplies takes a long time, you need to do multiple missions, and the bunker burns through a huge amount of supplies before it's fully stocked. Also, it takes a long time to fill up, so the best option is pretty much always to buy supplies. The only exception would be if, for example, you just started playing the game for the first time and the bunker is your very first business. Other than that, just buy them. Again, to make production faster and more profitable, you can invest in the equipment and staff upgrades, which are also not discounted this week. As for the sell missions, they're honestly pretty bad, mostly for solo players because you get multiple delivery vehicles. But at least, since you can stock up to $1,050,000, it's still more worth it than the MC businesses, and also the distance won't be as bad if you have a good bunker location. Besides making money, the bunker also offers research, which lets you unlock new things like upgrades for weaponized vehicles, weapons, liveries, and much more. To do this, you just select assign staff to research or both, depending on what you want, and this will start turning your supplies into research progress. This will take a long time and you don't know which upgrade you're going to unlock next, and you can choose it, so it's random and quite overwhelming. You can fast track the research if you want to, but it's going to be really expensive, and you also need to have a minimum amount of research progress to be able to fast track. Besides that, this is also where you can store your MOC, and you can also do ammunition contracts, which are quick missions you can do every 48 minutes that pay $50,000, but I won't go into detail about that in this video. The only thing worth mentioning is that, like I said before, this business can also be used to supply the warehouse in the nightclub, so it's always worth having the bunker, even if you don't actively use it to make money directly. Moving on to another very important business for the nightclub, we have the white lockup, also with 30% off this week. You can get it through a clubhouse, which is available on the Maze Bank Foreclosures website. The location doesn't matter, and once you're inside the clubhouse, you can access your computer and buy one of these businesses. The same thing I said in last week's video about the counterfeit cash factory applies this week to the white lockups. I have no idea which one is the best because I've never really used the business to make money directly. If you know, let me know down in the comments. I have the one in Alamo C, like I said, only for the nightclub, and if I remember correctly, this one is the cheapest one, normally around 900k, and this week it's going to be even better. Besides being awesome for the nightclub, it's also even better now if you own the newest business, the hands-on car wash, because it will also boost your safe even more. The same applies to the bunker and the nightclub, of course. So it's a business that whether you're going to use it directly or not, it's still very useful to have. If you are going to use it directly, it works exactly the same way as the bunker, so I won't explain all that again, and it also has the regular upgrades available. Keep in mind that this is the best of the MC businesses in terms of profits. And we've got one more property with 30% discount this week, the salvage yards, another great business. There are 2 salvage yards up north and 3 others in the city. Obviously, you want to avoid the ones up north, and as for the ones in the city, the best one is, in my opinion, the one in Strawberry. The one in Murrieta Heights is also really good, but there's another reason why I think the Strawberry is a better option. If you usually farm with a hands-on car wash business, there's a mission where you deliver a car and you can actually deliver it straight to your salvage yard. The Strawberry one is literally right across the street and you can just walk there in a few seconds. It's a small detail, but it can matter if you like farming with that business. As for renovations, all you really need is the tow truck. Any version will work and the difference between them isn't that big. If you have a lot of money, my recommendations are to get trade rates, which gives you a 50% discount every time you recover a vehicle through the Morse Mutual Insurance, and the wall safe upgrade, which increases its capacity from 100k to 250k. None of these are as important as the tow truck, but they are nice features for players who are more advanced and plan to play the game for a long time. Starting with the tow truck services, which by the way are paying double money this week. These are quick missions where you go pick up a vehicle from a location and bring it back to the salvage yard. It will take either 2 in-game days or 1 in-game day depending on whether you have the staff upgrade or not, and this week with the bonus it pays between $60,000 and $80,000. Besides that, these missions also increase your passive income from the safe. Once you salvage 4 vehicles, your safe will generate a maximum of $24,000 per in-game day. And to maintain that passive income, you just need to keep doing these missions. You can also do robberies, which are the main money-making method for the salvage yard. Every week there are 3 vehicles you can steal. You'll do the scope mission, the preps and the tests, and in the end you'll sell the vehicle. It's not the biggest payout ever, but the missions are really fun, and from time to time you'll be able to claim some of the vehicles, like this week where we actually have not just one but two claimable vehicles, even though they're not the best cars out there, to be honest. Pretty damn rare to happen, but yeah. I won't say this every time I talk about a business or property here on the channel, but since I already mentioned it for the others, I'll take the chance to say that this one also helps increase the car wash safe income. And finally on my list we have the Laser, which is 50% off this week, dropping its price to $3,250,000. Before you head to the comments to hate on this, saying the Laser isn't worth it because you can get it from Ford Zancudo, hold on. This is actually a good purchase for a specific type of player. Players who either like to collect aircraft or like to use and try out different aircraft for PvP, for example, because the discount is just insane and you will never ever find it cheaper than this. For those who just want to try it out or only plan to use it a few times, you can still go and steal it from Ford Zancudo. Exactly. Personally, I'm thinking of buying it myself, at least when I find some time to grind a bit more, because the Money Fronts DLC completely drained my bank account. Honestly, I'd just be buying it for the collection, since 50% off is an exceptional discount. Moving on to the weekly recap, for money bonuses we got 4 times money NRP on land races, triple money NRP on community series, double money on auto shop client jobs, and double money NRP on tow truck services from the salvage yard. The LS Car Meet prize ride vehicle this week is the Bravado Hot Wing Hellfire, and to win it you'll need to place top 5 in any LS Car Meet race for 3 days in a row. Pretty damn easy. On the test track this week we've got the Vapid Dominator FX, the Coquette D5 and the Albany VSTR. The podium vehicle this week at the casino is the Vapid Dominator GTT. At the gun van we've got the Service Carbine, Military Rifle, Combat Shotgun, Musket, which is 50% off, Firework Launcher and the Knuckle Duster. For throwables we've got Tear Gas, Grenades and Proximity Mines, along with Body Armor. This week's regular time trial is Maze Bank Arena, and the HSW time trial is at the Wind Farms. The FIB priority file at the Garment Factory is the Brute Force file, paying $316,000. At the salvage yard this week we've got the Karin Burr with the Liberty City Vanity Plate by completing the Duggan robbery, the Bravado Buffalo STX by completing the Gangbanger robbery, and the Glassy Drift Yosemite with the Las Venturas Vanity Plate by completing the McTony robbery. At Simeon's dealership we've got the Bravado Banshee GTS, the Vajero ZX Convertible, the Wheeler Deodora, the Scramjet, and the Coil Cyclone. And finally, at Luxury Autos this week, we've got the Declassy Walton L35 stock with a new livery, the Patriot Beer, and the Carrion Woodlander. And that's it for this week, a ton of properties and an insane amount of vehicles on discount, but honestly, most of them are pretty mid, so those were the ones I think are really worth picking up this week. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.